Aspiring Authors Lab, where I teach aspiring authors who are struggling with self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth issues how to cut through the clutter, leverage their knowledge, stop procrastinating, and generate an income. So let's talk about today your audience. Thank you for joining me today. Identifying your target audience. Understand the significance of writing your masterpiece to the audience of your intended message. That message that you're trying to get across, okay? If you're like me, I don't like people wasting my time with something that doesn't interest me. So what happens to many new authors, they love to write, but instead of writing to a specific group, they're writing to everybody. Thank you for joining me today. They're writing to everybody and anybody. And when you do that, what happens is it causes confusion. You have to be specific. Your book is not for everybody, but your book is for somebody. And you have to be, specific in, what you're writing about to your intended audience. Because if not, the content will be all over the place. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? And thank you for joining me today. Another disappointing factor is when, aspiring authors or new authors, whatever you want to say, they try to sell to their family and their friends, and then when their family and their friends are not responding, then they feel some type of way. But again, your book is not for everybody, but your book is to somebody. So why, put yourself through that and limit yourself, limit to, just those that you know, or just those that you could see, or trying to write to everybody when you are specific. You have an entire world out there. There are people out there that will buy your book. As a matter of fact, they're ready right now to buy your book because, everybody has something. Everybody's unique. Everybody has a story to tell. And there's people out there that are waiting for you. You might not be the voice for everybody, but you are the voice for somebody. Okay? So that's a big mistake many new authors face, where they try to, write to everybody and, they miss the mark because it causes confusion. It causes, a whole bunch of confusion. And nothing breeds deep disappointment as when you have spent so much time getting your message together, putting your book on sale, and then nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it. You have poured, hours into writing, and now you're wondering what's wrong. What's wrong with your book? Why nobody's attracted to it? You start thinking if you change the words in the description or on the sales page and, or start posting more on social media, then people will buy. But still, there's no change. There's no change. People read through the description and the first few pages, and maybe they get confused because, again, I said it's not a specific audience. So you have content that's all over the place. You're not really being specific in your message, what you're trying to get across. Okay. And, it becomes a nightmare. It becomes a nightmare. That's why you have to identify your target audience. Defining target audience. Let me define that for you. That refers to a group of specific recipients for your intended message. That's a specific group that have a question that you're going to answer. And with this, you know who you're talking to before you even start writing your book. So you see how your content comes together? Because you know specifically who you're talking to. Sometimes people get more excited about writing their book that they forget because they're trying to get their book written. And like I said, I've seen this happen with many new authors. So let me give you a question that you should ask yourself. Who is my target audience? Number one, that's the first thing you should ask yourself. Who is my target audience? And when you ask yourself that question, it's going to line up that content for you, what you should be talking about, what you want to express, what your message is. That's the first step. That's a very important key that will bring success to you as a new author. And the next key I want to talk about, the importance of your audience when you're writing. Knowing who you are writing to helps you to expertly craft your message to answer all the questions that your intended audience, the questions that they're asking. So you see, it's a win-win situation when you have everything organized, Picking your content gives your audience detailed information in order to avoid a problem or give them information to not get into a situation. Okay? Now, you might even ask, why does your audience matter? Why does your audience matter? Because when you know your audience for a particular book, it's important because it determines the content that will appear in the writing. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yes or yes? The content of a book has a specific topic, and it will vary from audience to audience. So that's why it's so important, to follow these simple tips on the importance of finding the correct target audience that, will help you have a successful book from start to finish. It carries out throughout the whole process when you know your target audience. That's the number one key. So with that being said, I just wanted to come on here and drop in and share with you this, very important topic, because it's very important to people when they don't know. You don't know what you don't know, okay? You don't know what you don't know. So I'm trying to shed some light here that will, cut through some confusion. But many of you have indicated that you're going to be intentional this year and you getting ready to start writing your book. And, that's where I come in. If you don't know exactly how to start writing your book, you can schedule 10-minute free consultation with me. And you could go there by going to bit.ly/I need help writing my book. Again, that's bit.ly/I need help writing my book. And don't forget to share this video with someone, because, I poured out some major keys today, and somebody may need to hear this because, they're right on the cusp of writing their own book. Okay. So I want to thank you for joining me and taking time out of your busy day to be here with me just for these few minutes. And I want to invite you to tune in again. I'm Gertrude J. Chapman, Inspirational Book Coach. Remember, this is your time. This is your season. This is your turning point. Have a great rest of the day.